The entire room seemed to hum with an electric anticipation. Fans had crammed into the grand hall, their eyes fixed on the stage, waiting for another dose of the warmth, wit, and charm that had become a trademark of Outlander's beloved duo, Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe. Over the years, audiences had grown accustomed to their playful teasing, their private jokes, and that magnetic chemistry that so often blurred the lines between Jamie and Claire on screen and Sam and Caitriona off it. But on this particular night, something shifted. Something unexpected happened. Something that left Caitriona speechless, froze the audience in breathless suspense, and sent the internet into a wildfire frenzy. It began innocently enough. The host leaned forward with a mischievous grin, delivering the kind of question that makes actors squirm, but fans secretly live for. "So Sam, who is your dream girl?" Normally, Sam Heughan would have laughed, shrugged it off with a joke, or redirected the spotlight with effortless charm toward his latest project. He was practiced at this game. But this time, his expression changed. His smile softened into something contemplative. His eyes dropped for a fleeting second before lifting to meet the crowd, and a silence stretched across the room long enough to make every single person lean in. Beside him, Caitriona arched a curious eyebrow, clearly expecting the familiar, witty comeback. But instead, Sam inhaled. And when he spoke, his voice carried both hesitation and unshakable sincerity. "You know," he began slowly, "I've been asked this so many times. People always expect me to name a celebrity crush, some glamorous actress, someone unattainable. But for me, my dream girl has never been about fame or appearances." The words tumbled out raw and unpolished, as if they had been locked inside him for too long. "She's someone who understands me. Someone who can make me laugh when I'm exhausted. Someone who challenges me, pushes me, but also lifts me up when I need it most. She's strong, independent kind." He stopped, just for a heartbeat. But the pause was electric. The air vibrated with expectation. The audience held its breath. Caitriona's lips parted as though she wanted to interject, but no sound came. Her eyes softened, flickering with something unreadable, surprise, shock, maybe even recognition. Sam pressed on, his voice deepening with emotion. "I think the real dream girl is someone who's been beside you all along. Someone who knows the real you, not the actor, not the character, not the public figure, but the person behind all of that. And maybe the reason I've never given a straight answer before is because..." The silence was unbearable now. A gasp rippled through the crowd. Dozens of phones tilted higher, recording every second. Sam tightened his grip on the microphone as though he felt the weight of his words, and then he turned just for an instant to look at Caitriona. "Because she's right here." The room erupted. Gasps, cheers, shrieks tore through the hall. Fans jumped to their feet. Others clasped their hands over their mouths in disbelief. Cameras flashed like lightning. The host's eyes bulged in shock, fumbling to regain control, but the moment had already slipped from his grasp, cemented forever in legend. And Caitriona Balfe, always quick-witted, always composed, sat frozen. Her cheeks flushed a vivid crimson, her hand brushing her hair as though to shield her swirling emotions. For once, she was utterly speechless. Her lips tugged into a nervous smile, but her eyes betrayed a storm of unspoken feelings: warmth, shock, vulnerability, something fragile and unguarded that neither she nor Sam seemed ready to put into words. For years, fans had speculated about their connection. Their on-screen chemistry as Jamie and Claire was undeniable, and off-screen Caitriona herself had once called their bond beyond love. Yet both had sworn time and again that they were just friends, partners, confidants. But Sam's words, this unscripted confession, were impossible to dismiss. The atmosphere crackled. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of Sam's confession spread like wildfire, tweets pouring in. Did Sam Heughan just admit Caitriona is his dream girl? This changes everything. The fandom dissected every glance, every blush, every brush of Caitriona's hand through her hair. And yet in that moment, none of that mattered. What mattered was the silence. The silence that stretched between them, louder than applause, more intimate than words. A silence that carried years of shared history. Finally, Caitriona's hand moved. It found its way to Sam's arm, resting there gently. A small gesture, but enough to steady both of them in the storm he had unleashed. The first chapter of this story ended not with answers, but with a cliffhanger. Had Sam Heughan truly confessed his feelings in front of the world, or had he simply paid tribute to a bond so deep that fans mistook it for romance? Either way, the magic was done. Sam was left vulnerable. Caitriona was left speechless. And the world was left desperate to know what would come next. The cameras lingered on Caitriona. Every flicker of her expression was captured, the widening of her eyes, the nervous laugh she tried to swallow, the subtle way she shifted in her chair as if grounding herself. At last, she exhaled, her lips curving into a smile that was equal parts warmth and disbelief. Well, she said, her Irish lilt slicing through the tension, "You certainly know how to stun a room, don't you?" The audience roared with laughter. But beneath Caitriona's playful words lay something deeper. She had been moved, deeply. Her eyes, shimmering under the light, spoke louder than her carefully chosen words. For over a decade, she and Sam had walked side by side through the whirlwind of Outlander. Together, they had filmed countless scenes of passion and heartbreak, crossed continents, endured sleepless schedules, leaned on each other in triumph and in grief. Fans blurred the line between their fictional love story and their real bond, but until this moment, neither of them had ever acknowledged that it could be more. The host, seizing the tension, pressed further. "Caitriona, what do you think of Sam's dream girl description? Does it sound familiar?" The crowd roared again, hungry for her answer. Caitriona hesitated, biting her lip as though weighing her choices. She could laugh it off, dismiss it as Sam being poetic, but she didn't. "I think," she said carefully, "that Sam has a very beautiful way of describing the kind of person we'd all be lucky to have in our lives. And if he sees me as part of that, well, I'm honored." Her words were diplomatic, but her glance toward Sam betrayed far more gratitude, affection, maybe even something that had been locked away for years. Sam smiled back, small and shy, a sharp contrast to his bold confession. The audience thundered with applause, the moment immortalized forever. And then the internet went mad. Speechless trended worldwide. Fans debated ferociously. Some insisted it was undeniable proof of a secret romance. "You could see it in their eyes," one fan wrote. "That wasn't acting. That was real." Others argued it was nothing more than the culmination of years of deep friendship and teasing. Industry insiders chimed in too. "Sam and Caitriona are unlike any co-stars I've ever worked with," one producer admitted. "Whatever their relationship is, it's built on trust, respect, and something unspoken." For Caitriona, the moment carried heavy weight. Fiercely private, she had always drawn a line between her career and her personal life. Yet here she was, exposed in a way she never intended, standing at the fragile border of truth and speculation. Sam, on the other hand, seemed utterly calm. Days later, he addressed the frenzy with his trademark smile. "I think people see what they want to see," he said. "But what's most important is that Caitriona and I have an incredible bond. She's my rock, my friend, and someone I deeply admire. That's all I meant." Still, fans weren't convinced. To them, the confession had been too raw, too vulnerable, too real. Social media lit up with romantic edits, montages of interviews past, and heartfelt essays declaring that Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe were the true love story of Outlander. Perhaps the truth was simpler. Perhaps Sam hadn't declared undying love, but instead acknowledged the rarest of human connections, a bond so profound it defied labels. The true power of that moment wasn't in certainty, but in its ambiguity. It blurred the fragile boundary between fiction and reality, between Jamie and Claire, Sam and Caitriona. As the night drew to a close and the audience finally dispersed, one truth remained undeniable: Caitriona's silence had spoken volumes. Whether she was overwhelmed, touched, or simply caught in the whirlwind of surprise, her reaction had etched itself into memory. Sam Heughan's confession had left its mark not only on Caitriona, not only on the fans, but on the story of their partnership itself. And as the lights dimmed, one lingering question followed everyone out into the night, a question destined to echo for weeks, months, even years. Was Sam Heughan's dream girl truly sitting beside him that night? As soon as the interview ended, the room was still vibrating with the echoes. Fans had barely left their seats when social media exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all were flooded with clips of the moment Sam Heughan looked at Caitriona Balfe and exclaimed, "Because she's right here." Within 30 minutes, the hashtag #speechless climbed straight to the top of the global trending list. Some fans screamed through the screen, "Oh my God, did Sam just admit Caitriona is his dream girl?" This moment will go down in Outlander fandom history. Jamie and Claire are not just fiction. They are Sam and Caitriona in the flesh. Slow-motion cuts were cut together, Sam's gaze lingering on Caitriona, her awkward smile, the gentle touch on his arm. Every detail was scrutinized like evidence in an investigation. The press was not left out. The next morning, a series of news sites posted sensational headlines. Sam Heughan shocks the world with his surprising confession to Caitriona Balfe. The moment of destiny. From screen to real life is Sam and Caitriona, the untold love story. Speechless, the word that rocked Hollywood. A veteran editor of Variety even wrote a commentary. In my 20 years in the business, I have rarely witnessed a moment on stage that was both so spontaneous and so emotional. Sam Heughan broke down the wall between character and real person. Meanwhile, close colleagues began to share tactfully. A co-star in Outlander tweeted, "Anyone watching could feel the specialness between the two of them." I'm not surprised. But amid the whirlwind of excitement, Caitriona Balfe remained silent. Not a single tweet, not a single post. Just a few paparazzi shots of her leaving the hotel the next morning, her eyes pensive and her ears red under her loose hair. Sam Heughan was different. Appearing at a press conference later, he smiled calmly, his eyes shining with confidence, but also with a hint of uncertainty. When a reporter asked directly, "Sam, did you really admit last night that Caitriona Balfe was your dream girl?" Sam paused. The room held its breath. Then he laughed and replied softly, "I think sometimes people hear what they want to hear. But one thing is for sure, Caitriona has always been the best companion on my journey." A clever answer, reassuring enough but vague enough to feed the flames of speculation. Fans did not give up easily. Forums were filled with conspiracy theories. Some believe that Sam and Caitriona have been secretly in love for a long time, just waiting for the right moment to reveal it. Others think it's just a PR stunt for the final season of Outlander. But everyone agrees on one thing: Caitriona's silence is the most telling. A journalist from The Guardian wrote, "In a world where every story is carefully controlled, silence is the most powerful language." Caitriona didn't need to say anything. Her confusion, her eyes, and her touch last night were enough to write a new chapter in her relationship with Sam. The story didn't stop with the fan community. It spread beyond the film industry to talk shows, podcasts, and even afternoon teas among European housewives. The question, did Sam Heughan just confess his feelings for Caitriona Balfe, became a global topic. And then something even more surprising happened.